everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye, and this is my world. Okay, today's topic is men who hate women. Men who hate women. Okay, before we get started, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all of the new viewers. Welcome to all of the new subscribers. And welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now, those of you who are new to this channel, I will answer your relationship questions. So at the end of the video, I'll show you a link where you can send in your questions. And I would either answer them privately through the email, or I would share them online with the collective. And it can be your decision. Now, those of you who are interested in these caps, they are now available in my online store. So just go down to the description and you see a link that says online store. Just click on that link and there you have it. Okay. All right. Now it's time for our affirmation of the day. And here it is. I am making myself a priority and taking care of me. Okay, ladies, I am making myself a priority and taking care of me. Now let this be in your spirit today. And think about it as you go throughout your day. Make yourself a priority. Okay? Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Okay? It's very important to love yourself first. All right? And then you have the strength to love others. But love yourself first. Make yourself a priority. Okay? All right, let's say it again. I am making myself a priority and taking care of me. All right, ladies. To show my appreciation to you for your supporting this channel, I will be giving away a deck like this once this channel hits 100,000 subscribers. Okay? We're almost there, people. The only requirement is that you are a subscriber and you have a chance of winning this deck. Once this channel hits 100,000 subscribers, I will be randomly choosing one of you lucky subscribers to receive a deck just like this one. And I have been using cards from this deck for our daily affirmations. So good luck to all of you. All right, keep watching because I will be announcing the winner on the channel once we hit that mark. All right now. Okay, now let's dive into the subject today. Men who hate women. And this topic was inspired by a letter that came in. Okay? And this young lady says, how do you know when you are dealing with a man that does not like women? Well, one way you know is the way that he treats you. That's one way you can tell if a man likes women or not. It's the way that he treats you. Okay? Now, what are the signs? The signs are, how does he receive you? Does he, open the door for you? Is he courteous? Does he look out for you? And the way that he speaks to you, is it respectful? Okay? These are some signs how you'll know. They don't like men in a sexual way, but like to hang out with them rather than you. So how do you know that? How do you know that if a man does not like women, that he doesn't prefer men sexually? How can you make that statement that they don't like men sexually? How do you know that? Because they said it? You can't go by that. You can't go by what a man says. You go by his actions. Okay? And if he doesn't like women, this basically goes all the way back to when he was growing up. All the way back. His relationship with his mother determines whether he likes women or not. Okay? His relationship with his mother. So if you are with a man and you suspect that he doesn't like women, find out what his relationship with his mother was like. Okay? And you will probably find that he doesn't like his mother by the way that she treated him growing up. And that's why he doesn't like women. Because of his own relationship with his mother. Now, if the mother wasn't present, it's the person that stepped in, the mother figure. The way that the mother figure treated this man when he was a young boy growing up determined whether he likes women or not. Okay? And he will show you if he doesn't like women. Okay? So basically, they pretend to be into the woman, but it's only for sexual purposes. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You know, men can engage with women for a number of reasons, and not just for sex. You may have resources that he wants or feels like he needs. A man will engage with you for your resources. He may need a place to stay. He may need a car to drive. He may need some money. You understand? So he'll be with you and he'll have sex with you just to keep your mouth shut. You understand? So you will continue catering to him. And he really doesn't like women. And he will show you that he doesn't like women. You know, I was with, when I was with the narcissist, and seeing the way that he handled me, I told him right to his face, you don't like women. You don't like women at all. And he just looked at me because he couldn't figure out how I figured it out by the way he treated me. You understand? He really didn't care about having sex with women. He just used sex as a tool. He didn't enjoy having sex with a woman. He preferred men, but he was on the down low. You see? A lot of these men that hate women could be on the down low. They like men, but they're never going to let you know it. It's a secret. That's why it's on the down low. You understand? You understand? But you can tell if a man doesn't like women. He won't cater to you. He won't have very nice things to say to you. He will mostly use you for whatever he needs. That's it. And it's not necessarily for sex. Okay? So ladies, listen to your intuition. Listen to your gut when you're with these people. And your gut will tell you whether he really likes you or not. Or not. Okay? And ladies, please don't be sexual with these people. Okay? Get to know them first. Get to know them for a while before you decide to become sexual with them. And then you want to say he doesn't like women. He just uses you for sex. Well, listen, it's a lot of them out here that would do that. But if you take your time, you can pick them out before you get sexually involved with them. And this is where you want to be. You want to guard yourself against these type of people. Okay? Now, the narcissist that I was with, although I confronted him that he was on the DL, he would never acknowledge it. Of course. Of course. You know, DL men will never confess that they're on the DL. So don't don't look for that. Don't look for them to say, oh yeah, okay, I like men. They're never going to tell you that. They'll continue to slip around and use you, ladies, and take advantage of you. Okay? But they prefer men. If you are with a man that prefers to spend his available hours with his boys, is something fishy about that. Okay? These are some signs. Okay? If you are involved with a man, he should be wanting to spend his available hours with you, not with his boys. You understand? Not with his boys. Because if he is spending more time with his boys than he is spending with you, that's where his focus is, on his boys. And who's to know if he is sexually involved with his boys? Many of them are, ladies. Many of them are. A grown man should not be spending most of his time hanging out with his boys. And just, leave you sitting and waiting for him. Okay? No, there's something fishy about that. And ladies, you need to keep your eyes open when it comes to this. Okay? If you feel like you are in a relationship, then your partner's focus should be on you. On you, not on his boys. So ladies, just be careful about that. If your man is spending too much time with his boys, be leery. Be leery of that. You need to have your eyes open, especially when his boys come around, because somebody's going to drop a hint to let you know if he is sexually involved with any of them. Somebody is going to drop the hint and let you know what's going on. So don't be fooled by, like in this letter, you say that that these men don't like other men in a sexual way. You don't know that. You have no way of knowing that. You can only go by what he tells you. And like I said, you can't believe everything a man tells you. Okay? If you happen to be engaged with a man and you feel like he does not care for women, then you need to walk away. It's as simple as that. Don't stay around trying to figure it out. Why is he treating me like this? Why is he acting like this? Why is he always with his boys? No. You pack your bags and leave. You don't need to be in a situation like that, period. And you don't have to be in a situation like that. If you stay there, then you are settling. Ladies, love yourself. And don't allow men just to tell you anything and you want to believe it. Don't do it. Okay. All right. Now, we have another letter here. And this letter is a little off topic. It's about homeschooling. Okay. So let's see what this lady says. I've been homeschooling my 10-year-old autistic son his entire life. This year, I was considering enrolling him into public school. I think that's a bad idea. No, don't do that. Because sometimes when I see other kids, I feel like my son is missing out on some of the new things that these kids are learning and maybe not being exposed to the things these kids are into. Okay, let me tell you. I wholeheartedly believe in homeschooling. It's just too much going in schools today. It's in public school. It's just too much going on in public school. And your son is autistic. He doesn't need to be in that environment, period. Number one, he will not receive the care that he needs to be educated in public school. He won't. He'll just be one of the crowd. One of the crowd that has a disability. That's it. They don't give them special attention. They treat them like a herd, like it's a herd of cattle. You understand? They just move the herd from point A to point B. And if the children learn anything along the way, well, good for them. But they don't get special attention. And every child deserves special attention when it comes to education. Okay? I agree with homeschooling, even if no disability is involved. You understand? I believe in homeschooling for any kid is a good idea. Is a good idea. Okay? It's just too much happening in the schools today. And plus, in the public schools, they're teaching kids false doctrine. They're teaching kids all sorts of false information. Your kid doesn't need to be around that. You understand? At home, you can take your time and teach your kid any and everything that he needs to learn to be productive in life. You understand? Don't send that kid to public school. It'll be a mistake. And believe me, he's not missing out on a thing. He is not missing out on a thing. In public school, even the kids are cruel. He could be bullied, picked on, beat up, hurt, or shot and killed in public school. Keep your child at home. Homeschooling. Homeschooling is the way to go. You can teach him everything. You understand? You got a computer at home. All the information in the world is online. Teach that kid everything he needs to know and teach him a skill so that he will be able to have a productive life. He needs a skill. And you can't learn that in public school. They don't teach you a skill. In public school, they teach you to be a follower and not a leader. Okay? They teach you how to follow the rules. They teach you how to respect authority and do not question authority. You understand? They teach you how to submit. You see? Your son, just because he has a disability, he can live a very productive life if his abilities are not hindered in any way. And I believe if you sent him to public school, he would be hindered. Okay? Many of those teachers don't even want to be there. They just need a job. You understand? So you send your kid there thinking they're going to get a good education, and the teacher doesn't even want to be there. So she's sitting at the desk scribbling or whatever she's doing and handing out tests to people. You see, education today in the public schools is more about how well you can memorize. Okay? It's about memory. How well can you remember things that you read or that you saw? It's not about how much you know, because just because you can remember something, it doesn't mean that you know it. Okay? You got a good memory, so you can do well on tests because you can remember what you read in the book. But that doesn't mean you know how to do it. Whatever you read. That doesn't teach you a skill. It's just memory. You understand? And with your son being autistic, he may have a difficulty with memory, with testing. And school, public school, is all about testing. You don't get to the next grade unless you can pass the test. He doesn't need to be in that kind of environment. Okay? Believe me. On the other hand, I could care less. Good. I don't want to be bothered with schools, meetings, and any issues that may arise at school. Yeah, them teachers that have you down there at the school talking a lot of nonsense to you all the time about your son. And beware, because the schools don't want to be bothered with children who have these issues, so they will convince you to put your child on a medication. Ritalin, things like that. so they won't be an issue in school. So they can just sit there like a zombie the whole time they're in school. You understand, people? I worked in the school system at one time, and I know this is what's happening there. You understand? Don't send your kid there. Don't send your kid there. I just like living my life naturally. I actually homeschool him, if that makes any sense, where I basically teach him life skills. That's what homeschooling is about, to teach him life skills. They should be doing that in public school, but they don't. They don't. In public school, they teach you to be a follower. They teach you to work for someone else, to follow someone else's direction. That's what they teach you in school. You understand? They don't teach you a skill so that you can be self-sufficient. They teach you to work for someone else for your sufficiency. Let me tell you, my kids are grown now. But if I had young kids, just young kids, school age, I would hesitate sending my kid to school, period, these days. I really would. Because schools are not teaching children to be leaders. I don't know if they ever did. You understand? You know, and I'm going to tell you, unless you can afford to send your son to a very expensive academy, he's not getting anything in public school. Nothing. Nothing but abuse. You understand? You don't need to send your kid there. He shadows me. We go out and do things that he enjoys, versus being set in a classroom and told things to memorize. You got it. That's right. That's all that is. That's a waste of time and energy. Don't send your kid to public school. Don't send him ever to public school. I also teach him math, reading, and writing. That's all he needs to know. You understand? He's very social, funny, and sweet, and you want to keep him like that. Because if you send him to public school, he might not be as funny and sweet anymore, because of what he will come against in public school. The teachers are not nice because, number one, they are worn out with these large classrooms, 30, 40 kids in a classroom. You understand? How can they teach anybody anything? It's all about memorization. Whatever you can memorize, you read something, and whatever you can remember for the test. That's all public school is today. Teach your kid at home. Okay? Teach your kid at home. And plus, there's so many other influences in the public school today. You understand? Influences that you might not want your kid to be exposed to. All right? Other than the fact that now kids are coming to school and killing up the school. You don't want your kid in that? No, don't send your kid there. And I do worry about him being mistreated and bullied, because people nowadays are crazy. You got that right. I've been praying about this thing for over a year, and I'm still just as confused. I just want to do what's best for my son. Can you please give me your opinion? My opinion is you homeschool your son from here on out. Don't ever send him to public school, ever. Okay? And when he gets older, if he wants to learn a skill, then you send him to a trade school. Maybe he can just take a class. He live at home and just go for a couple of hours for his trade and come back home. You understand? Do not send your precious son out to these vultures in the public school system. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like I said, unless you have the money to send him to a private academy, and even there you got to be careful, keep your eyes open, because they got a lot of mess that happens in those academies too. You understand? Molestation, all kind of terrible things. Keep your son at home. From your letter, it sounds like you're doing a wonderful job. Teach him whatever he needs to know to live a successful and happy life. And he'll be fine. You are doing the right thing. Don't ever let anybody change your mind about this. Okay? Because your son will suffer if you send him out there. Don't do it. He's not missing out on anything being with those other kids. You know, kids can be cruel. Kids can be very cruel. And he has not been exposed to that, and he shouldn't be. Protect him and love him. Take care of him. Okay? So I hope that you understand that message, and I really hope it helps you. The title of this video today was Men Who Hate Women. Okay? Men who hate women have experienced some sort of trauma with a woman in their life, probably at a young age, probably their own mothers. It was the female caregiver that inflicted some sort of pain on this young man when he was a young boy. That's why he doesn't like women. You understand? Because a woman has not been loving to him. Okay? He has experienced trauma by the hand of a woman. A woman. And that's why he doesn't like women. You understand? And many of these men are on the down low. They don't like women, but they don't want society to know that they prefer men. You understand? And they don't like women because the treatment that they incurred growing up at the hands of a woman, whether it was the mother, the grandmother, or foster mother, or some woman caregiver for them that mistreated them as a child. That's why they don't like you. That's why. But now, why would they engage with you if they don't like women? Because number one, they don't want people to know that they don't like women. You understand? In this society, you see, it can be frowned upon in certain groups. It's frowned upon if these men let on that they prefer men. So it's frowned upon. They don't want anybody to know that. So it's secret. You understand? They be with their boys in secret. But in today's world, you could be dating a man and he just hangs out with his boys. You could be married to a man and he spends a lot of time hanging out with his boys. He may be a member of all kind of men groups, things like that. Spends a lot of time with these groups. You need to be wary of that. Many of these men are on the down low. And they are having sex with their buddies. Okay? Now they're with you because it's traditional for them to be with a woman. Okay? It's traditional. But you can tell there's something funny about it because of the way that he's treating you. You see? The way that he is treating you. Now, when I was with my narcissist, it was subtle. It was very subtle, but I saw it. I saw the way that he treated me, certain things that he did, and my gut was telling me that he is sleeping with men. He doesn't like women. My gut was telling me that, but I didn't want to believe it. I mean, I turned my face away from it a long time. I did not want to believe it. And you're probably in the same boat. You don't want to believe it. You understand? Leave these people. If your gut tells you that something is wrong, believe it. Believe it. And don't entertain men if you suspect he doesn't care for women. Don't entertain him. Leave him and let it go. Understand? But ladies, don't settle. Don't feel like you need to settle. Don't feel like you need a man so bad that you're going to put up with this kind of antics. Not at all. Let them go and forget it and love yourself. Okay? All right, ladies. I hope that you understand the message today, and I really hope that it helps you. Now, those of you who have questions that you would like for me to answer, here is the link. Send your questions to MissFayesWorld@hotmail.com. That's MissFayesWorld@hotmail.com. And try to keep your letters to one page. Just summarize your situation and ask the question. And if you prefer that I answer your question privately through the email, just put it at the very top of your letter and I will comply. I want to thank you all for supporting this channel. Thank you for your comments and your letters. And a special thank you for those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. And I wish you well, and I wish you happiness, and I really hope to see you next time.